The Kethran Empire had ruled the Outer Spiral for 3,000 years. Their warships were legends whispered across 100 star systems. Their warriors bred from birth to hunt, to kill, to conquer. They stood 9 feet tall, covered in obsidian scales that could deflect plasma fire, with eyes that saw in 17 spectrums and claws that could rend durasteel. Humans were their newest subjects. Defeated, occupied, tolerated. Lyra Ven worked in the re-education center on Kethros Prime, teaching young Kethran cubs the inferior languages of the conquered species. It was menial work, beneath the dignity of any Kethran adult, which was precisely why they'd assigned it to a human. She taught verb conjugations and pronunciation while the cubs hissed at her, mocked her soft skin, her blunt teeth, her weak eyes that couldn't even see thermal signatures. She smiled through it all. The center sat in the shadow of the Imperial Citadel, where the High Command plotted their next campaigns of conquest. Lyra's quarters were small, a single room with a sleeping platform, a waste reclamation unit, and a door that never quite sealed properly. The lock had been broken for months. She'd reported it 7 times. No one cared enough to fix the dwelling of a human. She didn't mind anymore. It was during the 3rd lunar cycle of her assignment that she first heard them, small breaths beneath her sleeping platform. The faintest scrape of claws against metal flooring. Lyra had been reading by the dim light of her datapad when she noticed the sounds. She set the pad down carefully, rose, and walked to the door. Then she left it ajar. Just slightly. Enough. She returned to her bed, settled in, and continued reading, though her heart hammered against her ribs. Beneath her, the breathing steadied. Someone relaxed. The next morning, she found small claw marks on the underside of her sleeping platform, and a half-eaten ration bar wrapper she'd thrown away the previous night. Now completely empty. Lyra said nothing. She went to work, taught her classes, returned home. That evening, she ate her dinner but left a portion on her desk before retiring. She made no mention of intruders. She read her stories aloud, old earth tales of dragons and knights, of monsters who were not always monstrous. The food was gone by morning. This continued for 6 nights before she finally saw them. 2 cubs, barely old enough to have their second set of scales. They emerged from beneath her bed in the darkness, thinking her asleep. One was smaller, more cautious, with deep green scales that marked her as a scout breed. The other was larger, bolder, with the crimson-black coloring of a warrior breed. His eyes glowed amber in the darkness as he sniffed toward the food she'd left. Lyra kept her breathing steady, her eyes nearly closed. She watched through her lashes as the crimson cub Ravi, she'd heard him called in class, crept forward and seized the ration bar. The smaller one followed, her movements precise and nervous. They ate in silence, huddled together near her desk, constantly glancing toward the door she'd left ajar. Their escape route. The humans tell a story, Lyra murmured softly, not moving. About a boy who cried wolf. Both cubs froze. The smaller one bolted immediately, disappearing beneath the sleeping platform. Ravi remained, his body tense, claws extended, ready to fight or flee. The boy lied so many times, Lyra continued, staring at the ceiling, that when the wolf truly came, no one believed him. And the wolf devoured everything. Ravi's breathing was rapid, panicked. But there's another story, Lyra said. About a woman who sheltered wolves during a terrible winter. Everyone said she was mad, that the wolves would kill her. But she fed them anyway. Left her door open, pretended not to see them stealing from her stores. She paused. When soldiers came to burn her village, the wolves remembered. They defended her. Not because they were tamed, but because she had seen them, truly seen them, and chosen kindness. Ravi hadn't moved. His claws retracted slowly. I won't ask why you're hiding, Lyra whispered. I won't ask what you're running from. But my door will remain open, and I will continue to leave food, and I will pretend not to see. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then Ravi's voice emerged, young and cracking. They will kill us. The weak are culled. Lyra's chest tightened. How long? 3 days. When the selection comes, the selection, she'd heard whispers. Cubs deemed unworthy of the warrior caste were eliminated. Efficiency, strength of the species, the Kethran way. Then you have 3 days here, Lyra said simply. I am human. I am already considered weak. What's 2 more weaklings under my roof? She heard a sound that might have been a laugh, or a sob. Over the next 3 days, Lyra continued her routine. She taught classes. She returned home. She read her stories aloud. The cubs remained beneath her bed during the day. Emerging only at night, she left more food. She left medical supplies when she noticed the smaller cubs limp. She left blankets when the temperature dropped. On the 3rd night, Ravi finally spoke to her directly, not hiding beneath the bed but sitting beside it. Why do you help us? We are Kethran. We enslaved your people. Lyra looked at him, really looked at him. A child. Just a child. Despite the scales and claws. Because you're cubs, she said softly. And I'm human. We have this terrible habit of protecting children, even when it's foolish. Even when they're not ours. Even when they belong to those who hurt us. Ravi's eyes reflected the light. That is weakness. Perhaps, Lyra agreed. Or perhaps it's the reason we survived every predator on our own world. Because we protect the young. All young, even yours. The selection came the next morning. Soldiers arrived at the re-education center, scanning for the missing cubs. Lyra taught her class as they searched. They found nothing. That night, her door remained ajar. 2 small forms slept beneath her bed. And Lyra Ven. Human. Defeated. Occupied. Tolerated, read them stories of home, of wolves and winter, of kindness as rebellion. Of how the weakest species on Earth had conquered their world, not through claws or fangs, but through the simple, stubborn refusal to let the vulnerable perish.